I never thought I'd post a story like this, but I need an outside perspective. My sister, who's 2 years younger than me, always had a flair for drama. We grew up in a competitive household, though I never saw myself as her rival. She, on the other hand, seemed to thrive on one-upping me. Our parents tried to intervene, but the tension only grew. When I found out I was pregnant, I was nervous but excited. My boyfriend and I hadn't planned it, but we were in a stable relationship, and we were ready to be parents. I hoped my sister would support me. I truly believed she'd put aside her issues and be happy for me. Sadly, I was wrong. Oui. I told her the news before we announced it to the rest of our family. She stared at me blankly for a moment, then burst into laughter. She said I was ruining my life. She insisted my boyfriend would leave me, that I'd end up alone, and that having a baby so young was a mistake. I was 26 with a decent job and a supportive partner, but she refused to acknowledge that. She made snide remarks whenever I mentioned my pregnancy. She told me I was going to blimp out and teased me about maternity clothes. I tried to ignore her, hoping she'd get over it. Unfortunately, she only grew more vicious as the months went by. Utterly stunned. By the time my baby shower rolled around, I had grown used to her sarcasm. I wanted a small gathering, just close friends and family. Everything was planned to be intimate. My sister showed up late, carrying a gift bag with a smug grin. She pulled me aside and whispered that she hoped the baby wasn't hideous like me. I swallowed my anger for the sake of my guests. Then she took center stage, telling everyone how she disapproved of my choices, criticizing everything from the theme to the food. My friends tried to intervene, but she kept going until I was on the brink of tears. She actually smirked when she saw me falling apart. I felt completely humiliated. I tried cutting her off after that fiasco. My parents begged me to let bygones be bygones, insisting she was just immature. My boyfriend urged me to focus on my health and ignore the drama. I blocked her on social media and refused to attend family gatherings if she was there. She called me petty and oversensitive. When my daughter was born, it was a painful but miraculous experience. We named her Mia, and from the moment she arrived, my entire world changed. I was exhausted but so in love. My sister texted me 1 week after I gave birth, demanding to see the baby and insisting she had a right as an aunt. I never responded. I stayed silent. Months passed in a blur of feedings, diaper changes, and sleepless nights. I was learning how to be a mother. My parents visited often, bringing groceries and helping with chores. My sister's absence felt like a relief, although part of me wished she'd just grow up. Then, out of nowhere, she announced her engagement on social media. She wrote a long post about how thrilled she was to be marrying her soulmate, a guy she'd been dating for 6 months. Suddenly, she bombarded Facebook and Instagram with pictures of Mia that she must have stolen from my parents' accounts. She captioned them with glowing tributes about being the best aunt ever. I was livid when I saw it. I fumed. I confronted her online, leaving a brief comment telling her to remove Mia's pictures. She ignored me. I messaged her privately and asked her politely first. She brushed me off, claiming it was her right as family. Then she blocked me. I wasn't even able to see the posts anymore, but friends kept sending me screenshots. She was using my baby's photos to garner likes and praise for her newfound aunt persona, all while refusing to speak to me directly. Meanwhile, she presented herself as a doting sister who supported me all along. People congratulated her on how caring she was, and she soaked it up. The gall of it all left me shaking with anger. I felt utterly disgusted. At this point, I was done playing nice. I had no intention of forgiving her. She had never apologized for humiliating me at my own baby shower. Now she was exploiting Mia for social media clout, oblivious to the boundaries I'd set. A friend who was still following my sister informed me that she was using Mia's pictures in posts about her upcoming wedding, almost like she wanted to frame herself as a nurturing family woman. I decided it was time to fight back in a way that she would never expect. I didn't want to stoop to her level, but I also refused to let her parade around as this angelic aunt. My revenge plan began forming. I schemed. First, I took all of Mia's pictures off my parents' social media and tightened their privacy settings. Then I documented every post my sister had made featuring Mia, just in case I needed proof. I reached out to her fiancé, who had always been polite to me, though we weren't close. I told him I needed to clarify something about the pictures she was posting. He seemed confused and asked me to elaborate. I explained that she was using my daughter's images without permission, painting a false narrative to gain sympathy and attention. He asked for screenshots, so I sent them. He apologized profusely on her behalf, promising to talk to her, but I wasn't done yet. Not even close. I decided to address her online persona directly. Since she'd blocked me, I used a friend's account to comment on her posts. I wrote calmly, pointing out that these pictures were posted without my consent. I explained Mia was not her prop to use for likes. I kept screenshots of everything I wrote and everything she deleted. She tried to paint me as the irrational one, claiming I was jealous of her engagement. Yet the more she lashed out, the more suspicious her fiancé became. He started questioning the stories she'd told him about our relationship. He reached out again, asking for more context. I let him know exactly how she had treated me since my pregnancy. Her lies unraveled. My sister panicked. She unblocked me and sent me a series of furious messages. She blamed me for turning her fiancé against her. She said I was ruining her life by refusing to let her have this moment of happiness. I told her that if she wanted happiness, she should have thought about how her actions might affect others. She threatened to sue me for defamation if I kept spreading lies. That's when I dropped the bomb. I had every humiliating text she'd ever sent, every screenshot from my baby shower meltdown, and every hateful comment she'd posted. I warned her that if she tried to push me legally, I'd release all of it publicly. She went silent, rightfully so. Her fiancé continued talking to me, trying to understand what was going on. He seemed genuinely mortified. He had no idea she'd bullied me or mocked my pregnancy. He asked if these were exaggerations, but I directed him to real evidence. Over the next week, rumors surfaced that their relationship was on the rocks. My parents begged me to lie or downplay the situation, but I refused. I told them I wouldn't actively ruin her life, but I wasn't going to protect her either. She had made her bed. Then, at a family dinner, she turned up with red eyes and puffy cheeks. She cornered me in the hallway, demanding that I repair her image. I laughed in her face. I reminded her that she'd done this to herself. She shrieked that she was my sister, and I had to fix it. I walked away without looking back. Later that evening, she tried to put on a show for my parents, sobbing about how sorry she was, but she never once apologized directly to me. I took Mia home and refused to listen. Over the following days, her fiancé moved out of their shared apartment. The wedding was postponed. My sister spiraled, lashing out on social media, claiming I was orchestrating a smear campaign. People started commenting on her posts, asking why she had been so cruel to me. Screenshots circulated. Her perfect aunt facade crumbled spectacularly. She deserved it. I won't pretend I didn't feel a grim sense of satisfaction. This woman had made my pregnancy a nightmare and then used my baby for attention. Seeing her forced to face consequences felt just. But I wasn't done. I found out she was telling people she'd be reconnecting with her niece any day now, insisting we'd work things out. So I made a public statement on my own social media, clarifying that I did not condone my sister's behavior and that Mia would not be part of her wedding photos if the wedding ever happened. I kept it factual, attaching a few screenshots of her cruelty for anyone who doubted me. The post went viral among friends. People backed me. My sister called me in a rage, screaming that I was humiliating her. She demanded I delete the post immediately. I refused, telling her I'd take it down only if she apologized directly and stopped using Mia's pictures. She hung up, then texted me a half-hearted, "I'm sorry you feel that way" apology that wasn't even close to genuine. I told her I wouldn't accept anything less than a real acknowledgement of her wrongdoing. She never responded. Instead, she cried to my parents again, insisting she was the victim. They pleaded with me to keep the peace, but I told them I was done coddling her. She had drawn first blood when she attacked me during pregnancy. No more mercy. Eventually, her fiancé contacted me once again. He shared that he'd seen enough to doubt whether he wanted to marry her at all. He felt deceived by her lies about my family and me. Apparently, she'd painted herself as a supportive sister who'd been cast aside for no reason. When he learned the truth, he couldn't reconcile that with the person he was about to commit to. I didn't push him one way or the other, but I didn't lie either. I told him everything. My sister found out we were talking and accused me of trying to steal her fiancé. The accusation was so absurd, I just laughed. She'd burned every bridge possible. This was all on her. Completely. The wedding fell apart a month later. Her fiancé broke off the engagement, citing irreconcilable differences. My sister went nuclear, telling everyone I'd destroyed her future. Some relatives were shocked, but many had seen the receipts. They knew how vicious she'd been. Even my parents, who tried to remain neutral, started to realize she had crossed every line imaginable. My sister tried to contact me, leaving voicemails that swung between crying and raging. I blocked her number and continued raising Mia in peace. I still had no regret. She'd built her social media persona on stolen pictures of my baby, humiliating me when it suited her. Now she had nothing. Her meltdown was spectacular and well-deserved. I felt oddly vindicated. People have asked if I feel sorry for her. Honestly, no. She never once showed me any compassion, even when I was at my most vulnerable. She humiliated me at a party that was supposed to celebrate my child. She mocked me, spread lies, and then tried to co-opt my baby's image for her own gain. If she'd approached me with genuine remorse, I might have considered a conversation. But she never did that. Everything was always about her, so I don't forgive her. In fact, I'm glad she faced the consequences of her cruelty. Sometimes it's the only way people learn, and if she never learns, that's her problem, not mine. I'm done bending over backward, no more pity. In the aftermath, my life has improved. I focus on Mia, my boyfriend, and my job. We're doing well. Mia is growing into a bright, happy toddler. She has no idea about the drama that surrounded her arrival. As far as I'm concerned, that's how it should stay. My parents, though sad about the family rift, have come to understand my side. They wish my sister would apologize properly, but she remains stubborn. She apparently told some relatives that she'll never forgive me for wrecking her engagement. But I didn't sabotage anything. I just refused to let her lie about me and use my daughter as a trophy. She's suffering from the truth, and that's on her. She earned it. I've received messages from distant cousins who saw the online fallout. They're asking if the stories about my sister's cruelty are true. I confirm they are. Some express shock. Others say they always suspected she was self-centered. My sister tried to do damage control by claiming mental health issues, but I'm not buying it. She targeted me for years out of spite and jealousy, not because of any untreated condition. Everyone struggles, but not everyone lashes out with calculated malice. I don't blame people who want to sympathize with her, but I won't pretend she's some helpless victim. She's responsible for her own actions, and I've washed my hands of it. My baby and I are better off, undeniably free. My sister's attempts at contacting me haven't stopped entirely. She still tries to send messages through relatives or uses unknown numbers. I ignore them. I blocked her on every platform, and I'm not interested in her excuses. Some might wonder if I'll ever let Mia see her. Not in the foreseeable future. I've made it clear that until my sister demonstrates genuine remorse and respect, she's out of our lives. Forgiveness isn't happening. Even if she changes someday, I'll be cautious. She's proven she can't be trusted. I don't hate her. I just don't have space in my life for people who cause harm and refuse to apologize. That's my final stance. She can live with it. So be it. I've taken measures to protect Mia's privacy. I share fewer pictures online, and when I do, they're visible only to a small group of trusted friends. My boyfriend supports this wholeheartedly. He was the one who had to hold me after the baby shower fiasco, witnessing how devastated I was. He has no patience for my sister's antics. We have a wonderful circle of people who love Mia for who she is, not as a social media prop. That difference is huge. My sister thought a baby was a cute accessory, a means to an end. That's not something I can forgive. My child is a person, not a stepping stone for her fake internet popularity. I refuse to budge. Some might argue that revenge is never healthy, but I wasn't going to swallow her abuse quietly. She needed to be exposed for what she did. Her downfall wasn't a result of me manufacturing lies, it was the truth coming to light. She forced my hand when she publicly used my baby's photos and tried to rewrite our history. Now she's experiencing the backlash. I sleep well knowing I didn't stoop to outright fabrications. Everything I posted, everything I showed, was real. If she regrets it, she has only herself to blame. At the end of the day, I protected my daughter, cleared my name, and refused to let her walk all over me. That's real justice. I feel free. I know some readers might think I should have handled it privately. Trust me, I tried, blocking her, asking politely, ignoring her outbursts. None of it worked. She crossed the line by publicly posting pictures of my child, insulting me, and refusing to remove them. At that point, I had no choice. If you keep letting a bully step on you, they'll never stop. I'm not saying everyone should orchestrate a public takedown, but my situation left me with limited options. Her fiancé deserved to know the truth, and so did everyone else who believed her lies. The moment she tried to manipulate my baby's identity was the moment I decided enough was enough. No regrets, no second chances given. Sometimes I wonder if she'll ever truly learn her lesson. Maybe one day she'll figure out that genuine kindness and respect would have carried her farther than lies and cruelty. But that's not my responsibility. My priority is my daughter's well-being and my own peace. She can keep raging and blaming me for her self-inflicted woes. I'll continue living, loving, and raising Mia in a positive environment. If my sister had approached me with humility at any point, perhaps the outcome would be different. But she never did, so the door remains closed. I moved on, and I'm happier for it. She's the one left with nothing but regret and a shattered reputation. That's the price she paid, rightfully so. So that's my story. My sister mocked my pregnancy, wrecked my baby shower, then pretended to be the perfect aunt online. I exposed her lies, refused to back down, and watched as her wedding plans collapsed. I do not forgive her, and I do not regret my actions. In a perfect world, none of this would have happened. But we live in reality, where actions have consequences. She can't undo what she did, and I won't pretend it never happened. As far as I'm concerned, she's reaping what she sowed. I'm focused on Mia and the people who genuinely care about us. My sister can keep playing victim elsewhere. I'm staying strong and protecting my family no matter what. Thank you.